Hey, my name is Yolanda, and welcome to Frank Factualities, the podcast. Tune in each week as I speak frankly about life experiences from my perspective and offer you a bit of unsolicited advice. Let's take a little time to laugh, to think, and to cry as we tackle some serious topics and some not so serious topics. Be sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Welcome to Frank Factualities, the podcast. My name is Yolanda. Thank you for tuning into my show for another week and joining me for another episode. How are you all doing? I hope all is well. I am doing just fine. No, I'm not. I'm lying. I'm so used to saying I'm doing fine. My son is away at camp. He's at Palmetto Boys State. It's this American Legion camp for boys in South Carolina, and it's kind of a elitist type of thing, and I don't mean it to say not everybody can get in, but it's kind of sorta. It's really prestigious, and kids get recommendations to go, and usually it's only a handful of guys from their school, like between 2 and 5 or 6 guys. Juniors, they're rising seniors, so they just finished their junior year, and those boys go up there and they participate in government. Really, it's centered around that. And then they also do other things. They have full-on camp where they do calisthenics, and they have band, and they have class sessions where they study certain aspects of careers and different things like that. And so I was a little worried, believe it or not. I always talk to you all about living in I guess it's not a small town, but it's small, and it's predominantly Black. And so I'm growing up in this city where we're the majority. And my son is YN presenting, right? He probably identifies as one, but he's not at all. If you were to see him with his locks and the way he chooses to dress is on the days that he calls wearing his bummy fits, you would really think that, okay, who is this guy? But when he opens his mouth and you have a conversation with him, or you see his academics, you know that that's not the case. But he's a part of his culture, and he loves what his culture represents. And so he has no qualms about showcasing all aspects of what he feels makes our culture great. I say all that to say that this camp is predominantly white, right? So my husband and I take him, and also one of the other guys from the school needed a ride, so he rode with us as well. And we were definitely the minority. And not to say that I haven't been places that we're the minority. My husband's from Mount Pleasant, which is a city in Charleston, and everywhere we go, we're typically the minority. But after the Carmelo and Austin's case, and rest in peace to Austin, I don't wish losing a child on anybody, regardless of race, regardless of religion even. That's just something that no parent should have to go through, having to bury their child in high school, in school general, just their child. Children should bury their parents. And I understand that doesn't always work out in God's way, but for someone else to have a hand in that how that goes is heartbreaking. So let me say that first. My heart goes out to that mom first and foremost, just as a parent myself. Number 2, just seeing though how that case may have been so much different from the child case around the corner from my city, Columbia, and he got off for saying he was defending himself. So that was a little heartbreaking. So I was in my feelings, I know, and I did not realize that I had biases. And I'm not saying that I'm a bigot and I'm a racist, because I'm not, but I did not know how that was going to make me feel. And understanding everything, how my son presents, I did not know how I was going to feel about it. I didn't know I was even in my feelings, but he's having a blast, by the way, getting along with everybody. He's having a good old time, and it's nothing to that matter. It was literally just me feeling some type of way. And my husband, of course, doesn't feel. He grew up in a different community than I did. And so he understands. He knows when there should be things that you fear and when there shouldn't be things that you fear. And not saying I was oblivious to it, but that's my son, right? And this world has just not been so forgiving of Black boys, and they don't know your kids. And so And I can't say that that's just black boys. I can't say that when you see a white boy who may have a bald head, who's wearing dark clothing or a long jacket, you don't always walk to the other side of the street, or you don't look at them crazy. You get what I'm saying? I can't say that when you're in an airport and you don't see someone from the desert and you just make an assumption like, oh Lord, I hope we're going to be safe. We all have biases, and we all have fears because of these ideas and things that we see in social media. So I just had to like unwind from that for a little bit because, oh Lord, it just been too much. But luckily I have a tracker on my son's phone that makes me feel more comfortable. I don't go pick him up to this weekend. I'm going to be so happy to see him. Just say a prayer for him, guys, that, we make it there to get him safe. He makes it back to us safe, and we are able to all come back home, and I can love on him a little bit because I've just been in my feelings. Another reason I'm in my feelings is because today was my last day at work, but not just my last day at work, but we're moving into a different school building. And so this school has been a part of the community forever. This is the school I graduated from in 1998. My daughter graduated from the school in 2011. My son is currently at the school and will be part of the last cohort to come out of that old building, and he will be the first graduating class of the new building that we move in. So just kind of going through all of this, and especially since our school has just been getting hit after hit of just, to me, disrespect from a community that it raised, has just been a bit much for me. But I am done with trying to defend or make people understand. If you're going to be biased, the bias should be shared amongst all, just like I said about blacks and whites and Indians and whomever else you may have these biases towards. The same smoke can go for everybody. So if our school got to get the smoke, then that means all schools should get the smoke based on what they have going on and anything that may come up negative. So just to see that the doors are closing, and they've already boarded us up. We've been boarded up and they're working for a little while, and people are still working. It just happened to be my last day. So I'm just like nostalgic. I'm just in my feelings. It doesn't help that my cycle is coming on in the next couple of days. So that's just where I'm at. But just in the gist of understanding growth and change and how that could just really put you in a place. I just know that and why am I feel like my voice is cracking? I'm not really trying to cry. At least I don't think I am. But growth and change comes with growing pains, literally. And the pains can be hurtful and they can be uncomfortable. And that's, I think, what I'm feeling now, knowing that there's just a new chapter. And even though it's the same school, I'll be working with majority of the same people. When I say the same school, it's namesake, but it's a whole new environment. Not only are we going to have to get used to it as in the adults, but the children are going to have to get used to it and embrace a new culture. They're going to be the ones creating their own legacy in this new building. And I'm actually happy for them because the tarnish of the old building and everybody with their bad memories or when their kids were there, when they were there. Now we have a new generation that will go through, and hopefully when I'm old, they'll have new stories about this new building. But for now, it gets to have its own new legacy, and the school doesn't have to live under the tail of the old. You get what I'm saying? And you may not, unless you're from my city and you listen to this and you're like, okay, I pick up what you're putting down, girl. So embrace change, y'all. This isn't going to be a long episode because I think I'm in my feelings. My son's not home. It was my last day today. I do have to go back to turn in my stuff tomorrow though, but that's just like a quick, okay, what time are y'all coming? And then we're going to meet the principal there to because they weren't there today, to turn in and get our paperwork signed off for the end of the year closeout type of things. But it won't be for a very long time. I'm planning on going in the front of the building and leaving out the front of the building. And I don't want to go back to the places. But anyway, it's going to be bittersweet. And I don't know what other things you all have going on, but don't look at change as a negative thing. Embrace it as a positive. When it comes to your kids, learn to embrace allowing them to be and experience outside of your fears, because even though I was fearful, even though it's something new for me, I gotta let them grow up. And we can't shelter our kids. All we can do is have our grandmas pray. We have to pray and send good vibes out. My son is very respectful. He is not hot tempered. I don't think I've ever even seen my son like angry. And so I'm very grateful for that. He also is not a pushover. He doesn't mind standing up for himself, but it will never get to a point, I pray, that, he loses himself in a moment, and understand that he has adults there that are willing to help and protect and prevent things. And hopefully he understands to go to them whenever he feels the need to have to reach out to somebody. So anyway, that's been going on with me. Let's get straight into street talk, even though I kind of already talked about that with the Carmelo Anthony situation, but here we go.
Yeah, what's going on? Let me know.
So, I don't even know how to report this, but we just had our primaries, right? And a lot of us did not vote, us as in the people in my city. So I can't really be fussing at the world and the internet without going on on social media without checking the people in my family that I know that don't vote. So I'm going to put them on blast real quick. So I text my daughter and I text my brother. And I'm like, yo, did y'all register to vote? My daughter's like, well, she's been registered when she lived with me. I do know that. But she moved and I don't think she got herself situated in her new city. So she goes, how do I check? So I sent her the information. She's down. So she didn't vote in the primaries, but hopefully this November for our state election, she votes, right? I text my brother, are you registered to vote? He says yes. I was like, great. So you should be ready to vote in November. So if I got to even send these Negroes who to vote for, I will, because the streets was dragging us today, us as in Orangeburg, the city that I am from, and that the the Democratic candidate for governor is a black man, Dr. Jermaine Johnson. And so there's been this debate. He was going up against two other individuals who happen to be white men. Now, the race doesn't matter, but it does. Okay, so follow me here. We are a large county and we're pretty much black. So we had the lowest votes, but also we were the only county, I should say. We're the only county in South Carolina that did not vote for this black man by majority. We were the only ones. And I thought it would be opposite. I thought that we would be like, okay, all of Orangeburg. But again, if you look at the numbers, not a lot of us voted in the primaries, which I'm surprised because there was a lot of early voting going on. So I don't know what happened. But all the other counties have been dragging us like, Orangeburg, what y'all doing? Now, I would pray that the numbers change or shift when November elections come around, but I don't know. So the street's been a little mad at us, y'all. So I put a little positivity out in the air with my nostalgic post about my school. So I don't know, but that was just something that been going on, at least in my neck of the woods in the world. All the other politics, I ain't got time for that. But I will say the woman who is also running for governor, she was, I don't know if you guys remember the drama around South Carolina State University where the lieutenant governor was selected to speak, and they protested on our campus here. And she ended up going on a news station saying that she will not fall for this like woke mob trying to deter her from coming to speak, and that she was still coming. So anyway, the students did their thing, and the president ended up saying, okay, we have uninvited her. She's not going to be speaking. But then the streets were buzzing saying that they were going to try to defund the college now because it's a public college, so or university. And so I don't know where they stand with that, but I know if she becomes the governor of our state, it's not going to be easy for South Carolina State University. That is the school that I graduated from, as well as my husband, and my son is seriously considering going there. So that's going to be an uphill battle. We got some work to do in South Carolina, but also she's doing a runoff with, I think his name is Alan. Her name is, oh Lord, what a lady name is. And I'm glad I can't remember her name, Levitt or something like that. I think that's her last name. And then she's doing a runoff with Alan Wilson, I think is the guy's name, for Republican. So, but Trump endorsed her. This Allen guy, he is a Trump supporter, but I guess he felt some type of way about Trump not supporting him. Either way, I hope he gets the nomination, honestly, and not her, just because I already know she's going to have it out for my university. But that's what's going on in the streets for South Carolina. And in the end, I don't really have much to talk about as far as a topic of the day. I just kind of wanted to go over what was going on in my world and kind of just get you guys caught up, because this little week, I think, is just my rest and relaxation week. And I'll be back full effect and ready for you all for next week with a full-on episode about whatever topics. But it's going to be great. So until next week, y'all, I will holla. Bye.